After figuring out how much money I would need for 1 year of world travel, it was time to actually start saving for that amount of money. This video, I want to break down 5 ways I was actually able to save money to travel the world for a year. Let's get into it.
The method. So my 5-step method. So these are the things I'm going to actually go in depth with a lot today. First and foremost, the scavenger hunt I did. Automation is key. No access, Roth IRA, and tax savings. So my scavenger hunt was all about me going to an area in my house and figuring out where all my money was going. Like, where do I spend the most money? Is it in my closet? Is it in the bathroom with makeup, and hair products or wigs? Because if you know, I love me a good half wig. Not ashamed to say it. Or my kitchen. I love food. So where was most of my money going? And when I coach clients, I always ask them, like, where's your money going? They don't really know. They have an idea. I like to do it both ways to actually see the numbers. But looking at numbers right off the bat makes people nervous. So the scavenger hunt is one way to do it. What area is cluttered with stuff that has tags on it? So if you're watching on your cell phone right now, walk around your house. If you are at home, what area you spend the most money in? And just look and see what you bought recently. And why are you buying all these things if you don't need them? So the science to this whole live, this is long. It was slow and steady wins the race. This live is not going to tell you all these gimmicky things that you can do and uh send money to one person, get it back. That's a scam. That is a Ponzi scheme. I'm not on no Bernie Madoff stuff here. This is real process and how I did it, right? So again, back to the scavenger hunt. I knew that I like to shop. Now, this is something that I kind of grew into after I paid off all my debt. And I had more disposable income. And the more I traveled, the more clothes I bought. So before I was going anywhere, I'm like, I don't care if I wear the same stuff or whatever. When I would go out throughout Michigan, I would want to look cute for certain days or certain things. But overall, I'm like, y'all gonna get these same clothes that I've been wearing. Um, so I was seeing some comments saying shoes, but yeah, where is it? If you have children, you may say I don't need to get up. It's in their room. I spend the most money on them. Okay, I'm gonna get to that in a moment. It was my closets, plural, closets. I had a winter closet and a summer closet. Do not judge me. Okay, winter is, I feel like, the predominant season in Michigan. Winter closet, summer closet, and then not only did I have those two closets, but the home that I purchased, it was an older home and it had built-ins. It had these big dresser drawer built-ins, and I had those stuff. And old school built-ins are deep. All 4 of those drawers were stuffed with clothes, and then I had a dresser chest that had 4 drawers as well. So I knew that I don't need to buy no more clothes, but that in December I would go through and purge stuff. And then in 2021, I got serious in making a list on things that I needed. Like if I knew I had an event coming up and I didn't have anything for it, I could only go shopping for that. So the purpose of the scavenger hunt, when you go around your house and figure out where the most of your money is going, it's because you don't need to spend any more money in that area, like at all. Once you figure out what you're missing, if you know you need something, let's say if it's not clothes for you, let's say if you are a baker, you go through all your ingredients, this is going to take some time. So once you go through all what's in your area, in your house, you'll know what you need for what you have coming up. So I think a lot of people just go shopping. I see a lot of memes of it's the outside is closed, but Amazon is open, my checkout and all this stuff. That's funny, but really it's not funny to just be spending money frivolously, right? Not having a plan for your money. So I realized, okay, not only am I going to get rid of things, but I'm not going to buy any more clothes. And that was for the year. And I was dead serious. The stuff I'm only traveling with a carry-on right now. And before I left Michigan, I did not buy any new clothes for my travel. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I didn't buy any new clothes for my travel. I bought travel things that I needed. I bought a specific type of carry-on bag for me, but clothes was not in that category because I did not need them, and it was a waste of my money. So where's your money going? And where can you say you're going to reduce that? So a lot of people say they're going to reduce their spending but that's so generic, right? You may not need to reduce your spending in certain areas, but honestly, why are you buying things that you know you don't need? That's the question you have to answer yourself. Ask yourself and answer, because that buying random stuff on Amazon is keeping you away from achieving dreams. Honestly, that's literally it. Going to constantly, if it's creating memories, that's the thing. I don't buy things, I create memories. Okay, you keep creating them local memories and you ain't gonna leave Detroit. You are watching this and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. What are you saving for? Let me know in the chat. So the first thing before you save, like people always say, I need to save more. But what's your goal? If you're just saving to save, you're not gonna do it, right? Having a goal of what you're saving for. I know I'm traveling the world, so it's easy for me to delay gratification in that moment because I'm trying to hit that overall goal. And I also knew how much I was saving towards. All these areas you're naming, I'm sure this is the area in the house that's cluttered. It's time for you to get organized and make a list of things that you will need in the next couple months, not for the whole year, the next couple months for what you're working on. If you don't have anything you're working on in that particular area for crafts, I'm picking on you, Sandy. Don't buy nothing. You don't need to buy anything. Not I may need this. No, all that may need, and I bought it because it was on sale. I bought it because it was on clearance. Is literally holding you back for from hitting your goal. So yes, I am with you, Natalie. I eat out a lot. Brunch, happy hour was where I was going a lot, and I actually cut down on that too. And that wasn't the main area for me, but it was the clothes. And then I would say coming in second after I got over the hair care stuff was definitely eating out. But I had to limit on who I was saying yes to and doing things with to like get a handle on that. Automation is key. It's something that I had up for a second. And what I mean by this is your paychecks from your employer. Can you split your direct deposits to go into more than one account? That was key for me to save. You won't miss it. Now, I understand inflation is going on heavy right now. Even though I'm not in the US, it's going on around the world, but it's in America, it is insane. No, you may be like, oh, I'm gonna miss. If I set my savings to automate for $25, I'm gonna miss it. Okay, I am going to challenge you on that, and I'm gonna go more on that tomorrow. But automate your savings to at least put $25 a payday into your savings account. Now, if you don't have a savings account, it's time to open one up. And I'm saying savings account, not a checking account, because it's going to make sense for the next item on my list. But if you have an employer where you can't split direct deposits, you only can have one account for your direct deposit to go into, then you need to automate it yourself. There is no way of getting out of this. Even if it's old school and you are still getting a paper check from your employer, automation is still key. When that money hits your account, whether you're depositing it manually, you can have another account that you can have the money go to, that you can set up online and online banking, or going into the bank and have it automatically set a certain amount to go to your savings account every month, right? So it's so important because you're not physically doing it, and you will eventually start realizing that, okay, that's automatically out of my check. I'm not even thinking about it. Now, if you do not have a salary job and you're like, I get paid hourly, my checks change week to week and month to month, I can't be doing that. Okay, literally $5. You are going to start somewhere. So it's no excuses on this. You can save something. And if not, if you are like, no, you don't know my story, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I'm in survival mode, going back to step one, you shouldn't have anything you look for in your house then. You shouldn't have a closet full of clothes. You shouldn't have a bathroom full of stuff. If you're saying you're on survival mode, and I know about survival mode, I grew up on survival mode, and definitely paying off my debt before the age of 30 had me on survival mode. You wouldn't have anything to go in the house for because you'd be like, I don't got nothing. Everything is in here is bare because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. That means your room, your kids' rooms is not flooded with stuff. But I know that's not y'all story. So if you had an answer to number one, then you have an answer for number two. And I do be hard on people. If you know me, if I've worked with you, I haven't seen anyone on that I've coached, but if I coached you in the past, I'm like, I got an answer for every excuse. Come on, what you got? Because I got an answer for you. Once you figure out step one, scavenger hunt. Number two is automate the savings. And number three is to have no access to this. It's funny because I was talking to my friend Rochelle about this, and she was talking about a person who has their savings account set up or their checking account set up where they don't have access because they know they can't handle their money or spending. It's important once you go through the steps of figuring out like, okay, how you're going to save, how much to go to it, not to have access to it from a virtual standpoint, meaning that you don't have a debit card associated to this savings account. You don't have an ATM card to be able to pull money out. This is money that you're truly not going to touch. Um, excuse me. So hopefully that makes sense. So no access to it. And if you going back to the previous step, if you automate it and you are able to put the money in like from your employer to different accounts, I try to have my account set up in different institutions as a whole. So I cannot touch it even in like what I perceive as, oh, I need to hurry up and transfer money over. No, it's not even there for me to do that, to call the bank or anything. I have it in two different institutions. So that is something to consider. So let me know if this is making sense to you, if it's good, if it's hurting y'all like in church, say ouch. Say ouch in the comments. My pastor loves saying that. Like if y'all quiet and you can't laugh and you sitting there like, what do Pastor J be saying? You sitting there like you stuck, I don't know. He be saying all kind of stuff. But let me know in the comments if this is good, if it's making you say ouch, if it's making you think. Roth IRA. Roth IRA is for retirement. Individual retirement account is what the IRA stands for. Now, I'm 36, and a lot of people my age or younger may, it's retirement's in the back of their mind, but it's like it's so far away. Like, why would I open a Roth IRA? Roth IRAs are great for any person who is earning money. Your 5-year-old, if they are, if you have a business and you employ your 5-year-old, that you can open up a Roth IRA for them. If any person has earning wages, they can open a Roth IRA. You can open up a Roth IRA online from financial institutions like Fidelity, Charles Schwab's. Certain banks do have you open up. Bank of America, you can open up a Roth IRA with them. But the point of a Roth IRA is to put money in and you pick a fund to have your money invest to go to. So these are stock funds. So stocks, if you are fuzzy with investing, let me know because they'll let me know where I need to go with how explaining this, if I need to go deep or if I need to keep it high level. But I'm talking about Roth IRAs and investing right now. So don't get nervous if you don't like hearing these words or you feel like it's so far out of reach. I'm gonna get to questions on specific things in a moment. But I love Roth IRAs because I can pull money out anytime. And this is only for contributions that I've made. So this is why I love it, because it's investing and saving for me at the same time. And the earnings that I'm getting on my investments are going tax free. So when I retire, I can take out those earnings tax free. There's also ways I can take it out tax free before I turn 59 and a half. I can take it out if I want to buy my first house for qualified education expenses, medical expenses. So it's a good emergency savings fund because there are different things you can take it out your actual earnings out of for different reasons. So let me back up. So you open up your Roth IRA. You can actually set it up to have the money pulled directly from your account, automated. I love automation. And have the money go in there. So it's, when you think about it, first thing is going to go into a regular money market fund, which is like a checking account. You have to figure out where you want that money to go and how you want to invest it in funds. Funds meaning index funds or mutual funds, which is basically a bunch of companies that you're investing in. So stocks is having ownership in a company. So if you love Apple, if you love Google, and you know even if you don't love them, but you like they making all this money, Amazon, they making all this money. You could be making some money off of them too if you invest in the stock market, right? So IRAs typically do not let you pick individual stocks to buy, but you're buying in a fund, meaning that if you think technology is the greatest thing ever, it's always going to go up, and it's always investments in it, and I want to hedge my bets on that. Okay, you can pick emerging technology index fund, and it's all these companies. It's Apple and Google is in there, and that you're investing in. You're having a piece of all these different companies that you're investing in. If they grow, your money grows. So let's say you do this. The max, there is a max contribution that you can make. You can only, I think, contribute 6,000 a year. Listen, I have a lot of different limits to remember in my head, so I always just Google it. But I think it's $6,000 you can contribute max a year. So every year, I didn't start investing into a Roth IRA until 2016 or 2017. It was after I paid off all my debt. And this is just continued to grow. So this is a part of my saving strategy. So I do have, on top of my actual savings account that I save for my money, this is my backup emergency to pull from. So 6,000 a year. Let's just say I did it for 6 years. I maxed it out. That's $36,000 that I have that I put into. The stock market is going crazy up and down, but it went really well during COVID. That means that 36,000 that I put in definitely turned into 50,000. I'm just throwing out numbers. I don't have my statements up, and I keep my money private anyway because I do not. This is a random rant. I don't understand people who share the actual numbers. I be concerned, like people who meet me gonna know how much money I have. Then people can be begging for money. I'm like, I'm just gonna use just random numbers. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So that 36,000 grows to 50,000 without me doing anything. Just putting it, automating it every month. This is Roth IRAs. So you may be thinking, well, how can I pull? Why would I put that in there if I can't take it out? All that money I contributed, I can take out at any time. And I'm going because I like to show receipts and stuff changes all the time. Um, so I want to share what I have from Roth IRA. This is from Charles Schwab. This is from a reputable institution, not some random thing on the internet. And this breaks down how Roth IRAs work. And you can withdraw your contributions you made to your Roth IRA anytime, tax and penalty free. So right now, if next year, well, let me say next year, right now I'm over budget. If I'm like, you know what, I can just pull from my Roth IRA once I get to June, and let me back up again. Over budget, meaning that at the rate I'm going right now, I would need to get a job in April. The rate I'm going right now because of me overspending in certain categories in my budget, not the end of the world. But if I'm like, I don't want to get a job, I can pull from my Roth IRA all the contributions. Let's just say the $36,000 that I put into it, I can take all of that out anytime, tax and penalty free. But guess what? That gap to the 50,000, that difference between 50,000 and $36,000, that $14,000, that sits in there. And I can't take that out unless I want to pay a penalty. But guess what? That's easy money that I earn on my investing, right? So this is why I love Roth IRAs so much because it does both. And you can do this you can do this for your kids if they have a job. Even and if self-employed people on watching right now, if you know people who have children and if they work in their business, and I say work, I mean they actually are paying them a real paycheck, not just giving them $20 under the table. You can't put that in there. It has to be some record of it. They can pull I mean check. I think they can pull the earnings out. Yeah, they can pull all of it out if they want to when it's time for them to go to college. So a lot of people talk about like the buzzwords of black wealth and all this other stuff. This is a tool that a lot of people use, but just the common person just think Roth IRA, I'm not going to use it. Thank you, Lavonda. I'm like, I know. I'm like, what's the number? So I'll be like, with the 401k and different stuff, I'll be like, it changes all the time. So um I'm gonna stop right here for questions. It depends on, I'm just gonna say it depends, right? So if you set a budget, if you go on Airbnb right now, I can guarantee you your housing is going to be the most expensive, right? You may not want to travel the world. You may want to travel the USA. Guess what? House it. When I come back to the US, I'm going to house it. I'm not going to have to pay living accommodations. That's going to be free. So that $1,500 is gone from my budget. So you see why I say like it depends on how you want to set it up. Your housing is going to be the most expensive. So if you can figure out how to get cheap housing, maybe you want to have hostels. Maybe you don't mind having an Airbnb and split, but you have to go on and see your numbers for yourself, right? So I have seen all the time people say they only save 30,000. I've seen people say they saved 38,000. They've saved 12,000 because they were like they were going to quit their job for like 2 months and then work remotely. I am not working remotely. The only thing I'm doing is working on like strategy and growth in my businesses, but I'm not taking any cuts from my real estate or my financial education business right now. Not taking anything. I literally just didn't want to do work for the last 7.5 months. Now that I'm over budget, I ain't gonna lie, I'm inspired. But all jokes aside, I knew that January was going to be my focus time. The winter for me is focus. I don't, even though I'm in somewhere that's really sunny, I'm gonna talk about where I am at the end of the live and give y'all an update on that. I like when the days are short, I get focused. I don't really want to do anything. So, with all that being said, I knew January was going to be go time for me because if I really wanted to keep doing this, then I knew I was going to have money coming in by June. So, Judy, I hope that answers your question. And depends on how you want to structure your budget for going. So, 30,000 could be it, 24,000 could be it. If you're in the US, trustedhousesitters.com is where I have my profile set up. And I'm in a lot of Facebook groups for house sitting to get motivated and encouraged to do it. Just how I had to do to travel the world. None of my friends are talking about quitting their job and travel the world. Everybody thought I was crazy. Nobody in my friend group is talking about house sitting, but I share different things with my friends to make it normalized for them as I'm learning for people that this is their norm. So it just depends on how you structure it. Thank you, Mom. Hey, cuz. How much you use to save for if you make $100,000 a year, what I suggest you save is just if you don't have any savings goals, and you make $100,000 a year, I've if you're like I'm good, I'm content with how my life is going, I'm good, I'm not really saving for anything. What a blessing. Then I'm gonna tell you to save to have your emergency fund for 6 months. That means 6 months of your living expenses. So that means before I left the US, like I had 6 months of my mortgage saved up, even though I wasn't even paying rent or mortgage because I own a multifamily and I was living there for free essentially. I still had that mortgage payment saved up for 6 months. I live in the Detroit area. That DTE bill, I had 6 months of that saved up. My water bill came out quarterly. I had 2 quarters of that saved up. So have 6 months of your living expenses saved up if you're not saving for anything in particular. So see what I'm saying? I don't like to just throw out random numbers because of how much a person makes. And I know some people do that. I think that's stupid because if you don't have a reason behind it, you're not going to do it. Like I'm not trying to say your question is stupid. I'm definitely not saying that. But I think that people just saying you need to save 20% of your income. Okay, well, what about investing? You could be investing 50%. It just depends on how your life is set up. So if you have specific questions for me and you're like, I do not want to put my business out here, and I'm at that point where I want to like get actual financial coaching, you can book a paid consultation with me. We can talk about it. I am back doing that again. My calendar is open. I put myself on the schedule for briefly right now to get back into this. And just a background there, if you're just joining, yes, I am a licensed CPA, but I did financial coaching 101 for years because I started in a classroom teaching the youngsters, and parents and teachers wanted me to help them with their finances. And I stopped just because I was too busy. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't even have time to do this business. I'm just so wore out from my 9 to 5. So that's why I'm glad I have the freedom now to be able to do this again, because what I found was like I would be burnt out. And I would, once I got through a certain amount of sessions, I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. Or I started referring people who would ask me to coach them to other people. And they're like, no, I want to work with you. And I'm like, I cannot. And they're like, just tell me how much. And I'm like, there's at this point, it's buying my free time. And I don't have any more free time to give. Like I need to have a life, right? Levon, now is a great time to open up a Roth IRA. Yes, it is. Everything will only increase in time. And where to open it, Charles Schwab is one. I have mine through Vanguard and Fidelity for different reasons. Because I think Vanguard, is it just a regular 3,000 to start? I think Vanguard is 3,000 to start. I can't remember. It's been a while. When I first opened my IRA, Roth IRA, I should say. But Fidelity, you can start with like nothing, I believe. So I have in both, and there's different funds available, different performances. And if this is all going over your head, maybe I need to add investing to another series. Um, but yes, now is a great time to open it. You can take out your contributions anytime. So that's why I was just sharing that from Charles Schwab, from a reputable source. Because if the law changes in 2 months and somebody watching replay, I don't want nobody in my comments like, what? That's why I was showing the Charles Schwab. So sorry, it's a plane where I'm at that's flying over. So give it a minute. It's really loud for me. But you can take out your contributions at any time, tax and penalty free. Now you don't want to get into the habit of like, okay, I'm gonna take out some every month. Like, no, should really only be for emergencies. If you take it out, you should have your emergency fund set up before you take it out of your Roth anyway. But let's just say you like, I heard about investing and saving at the same time. I'm just gonna put all my money there. Roth IRA is good for that. Hey, Mimi. Yes, thank you for coming with those numbers, because I'm like, I can't Google this. Yes, thank you, Levon. 6,000 a year for people like me, and if you are over the age of 50, you can put 7,000 into your Roth IRA. Thank you, Natalie. Glad it's helpful. Fees. So you open it up online, and you looking at the fee agreement, similar to like how you will look for when you open up a checking account. Like I shop around for checking accounts. Like I usually do credit unions. I have credit unions, and then local bank and the big bank is where I keep my money. But I'm looking at the fees and how different things are structured from that. So if you're like, I just tell me where to start. I would suggest you start with Fidelity. I'm not sponsored by them yet, but we're gonna speak that to existence. These lives in a few months is gonna be sponsored by Fidelity, somebody. But I'm not getting paid for anything right now. I'm speaking from what I actually, from my research and where I open my accounts. I actually have it, even though I just showed Charles Schwab, I actually have it. I started at Fidelity and at Vanguard. So you go to the screen. I'm like, at the end, I may actually just take time and show y'all how to do it. If that would be helpful if we stay on, but I want to um, make sure that I'm getting through everyone's questions. You are welcome. And I'm gonna see you in Ghana, girl. Listen, we met in Santorini. That's what I love about traveling. Like you meet and you make real friends. Now, Ma, are you in this chat freelancing, giving out tips? I make fun of my mom because listen, when I am in Detroit and I do speaking engagements, my mama coming to me to all my speaking engagements because I wrote a children's book. So she in the back selling them children's books, pushing my coaching sessions. So she my momager. Okay, you have Vanguard. Thanks, Rance. What up? What up? Okay. It's changed for this year. Okay. Y'all get y'all Googles on. Like I said, listen, something always change. And I'm not even on my last point yet, and we are almost at an hour. So hopefully y'all can stay on. If you really want to see how to open one, I will just share my screen. I'm not gonna actually open one because I already have stuff open, but just so you can see it and you can feel a little bit more comfortable with doing stuff like this. All right, so tax savings. Now, 401k. If you have an employer that has 401k, you should invest in it. At least up until the max of their matching capabilities. So if your employer matches 4% of what you contribute, like dollar for dollar, at the very minimum, contribute that. So what that means is, let's say you $1,000, 4% of your salary. Let's say you 4% of your salary is $1,000. They're going to give you $1,000 for the year. They're going to match you dollar for dollar up until that point. Now, let's say you decide I want to contribute 2,000 a year. If 2,000 is 4% of your salary, then anything over that 1,000, they're not going to match you, but you're still investing in. I think everyone, even if your employer sponsor plan doesn't have the best option for index funds or whatever, again, which is like a mix of companies together in layman's terms, you should at least invest up into um their matching capability. Sorry, y'all, I'm getting tongue tied right now. Because if not, you're leaving money on the table. Like that's a part of your compensation package, right? So I'm not leaving no money on the table. So I'm going to at least put in my 401k how much you're going to match me. But a part of my savings plan, I already told y'all, if you just jumping in, hit that like button and subscribe button if you're not subscribed. I already went through one, scavenger hunt. Two was automating my savings, having it come directly out of from my employer when I was still working, or coming from my checking account if I can't split my direct deposits. Number three was having no access to that. Number four was Roth IRA. And if you stay on after this last point, I'm gonna show you how to open up a Roth IRA, like not opening it one, but just the steps. And number five is 401k, tax savings. So I maxed out the Roth starting, I think, in 2017. Roth IRA, for when I knew I was quitting, I started doing some tax planning with myself. So I was a high earner. I'm gonna just tell you, I was making six figures, and I wanted to pay less in taxes. And once I hit that six-figure mark, I was like, I don't want to pay. I'm a single woman with no kids. I do not want to be paying all this in taxes. So I put on my CPA hat and I was like, let me get back into like proper tax planning. Now, one thing is 401k. If you the max, Rance or Lavana drop in the max for 2023. I think it was 2020, 22,000 when I did it for last year. So I contributed the max to my 401k. Even though I knew I was quitting in June, I contributed the max to my 401k. This reduces my taxable income, right? So when you are in a high tax bracket, you should be looking for ways to reduce your taxable income. It also benefits you if you are not over in the six-figure range too. It helps anyone who wants to invest and have some tax savings. It's a good way. It's a good strategy. Aside from that piece of it, you can not do how you do with the Roth IRA. You cannot take from the 401k um, anything that you contribute. It doesn't work like that. You can only take you can take out a loan from your 401k if you are still employed with that employer, but you can take out for buying your first home, and you can take out for if you become disabled for whatever reason, financial hardship. I'm just going to say financial hardship. That is a bucket where you talking about wait, did I just get lost? Okay. Thank you, Rance. Um Rance is a financial advisor, so he knows these numbers. I'm like, I'm going back and forth with this. So Rance is former coworker turned friend who is in the financial space as well as me. So thank you for being on, Rance. I appreciate it and helping me out with these random numbers I'm trying to talk about that I'm having brain fog on. But 401k was how this was like another backup to the backup. So when I told y'all I quit my job, it is like a lot of thought went into this. And this is not even talking about other streams of income, but I'm just telling y'all my savings plan. So aside from the cash savings that I had for what I need to know, what I need to have for my lodging and all of that, my backup is my Roth. And 401k, I do not work in my employer anymore. You can roll it over to an IRA. You can then roll it over from the IRA to a Roth IRA. There's other things you can do with that 401k money. But if you are, let's say let's say your plan is not to travel. You like, I have no interest in traveling the world, and you're going to stay at your employer. You just want to improve your savings. You can use 401k a lot in a lot of different ways when you stay with your employer. Okay. So that is the last bit of information that I have right now for my schedule agenda. If you want to stay on, I will show you the Roth IRA. But first, hold on. I got to get up and plug in my charger because it's not in there. So okay, it's not plugged in, so I'm gonna stay on till my battery dies. So we are over all my stuff right now. So before I get into sharing my screen and all that stuff, I am currently in Thailand right now. I've been in Thailand for a few days. If you joined the live late, it's morning for me. I got on my workout attire underneath this. So Rochelle, if you still on, I'm hitting my workout goal for the week because she been on my head about that. Um, and I've been in Thailand for, like I said, for a few days. So I'm ahead of y'all. I'm getting adjusted to it. And I said all that to say, I cannot plug in my laptop charger into the outlet like I would in America. In the US, I have to use the adapter. In this plug, in this Airbnb, the adapter is not liking how it is like hanging off. So it may die off. If I just drop off, it's because my laptop went dead. All right. So thank you for watching, Rachel. She was on here sharing my stuff. So make sure y'all tune in the rest of the week. And if you got a lot of information, share my channel. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by April 1st. So help me do that. All right. So let me go to Fidelity. And then let me share my screen. All right, don't be taking forever to open up. So on Fidelity, like I was saying, I was going to show y'all this example. There's a lot going on here. So I know when I mention these things, you were like, okay, I'm motivated on the live, and you get here, like, what? Where do I go? Where do I start? So you can go to products. You can go to retirement and IRAs. There's so much on here, y'all. So much. We go to retirement and IRAs. So this is where you have your three options for IRA. Individual retirement fund. Do. No account fees or minimums to open up most retirement accounts. And I think this is where I was saying like the difference between Fidelity, I mean, not between Vanguard, which is why I have both. I think that's why I have both two different uh, fund providers. Roth IRA, it grows tax free. Traditional IRA, tax deferred. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about rollover IRA. Not in today's live. If I do talk about that, I'm gonna bring Rance on with me to talk about all that stuff. Now, click open up account. So open up a Roth IRA. I may go back to hit on learn more. because this is actually just gonna, I'm just gonna do no, and they'll tell you what you need to do to open up an account. But I'm just showing this so you guys can be not so apprehensive about it. Just what you have to enter, you have to have your social, all this stuff like you would for opening up an account. So I'm gonna go back to see what learnings you can do before you open up your account. That would be more helpful. But at least you know where to go. And it's different on every institution you go to their website on where to go to start. So learn more. I think they showed the funds at somewhere. I think. It tells you about the tax benefits and the I don't know about Go Roth IRA. I just have the regular Roth IRA. I'm trying to see if it shows you the funds. Of course, when you do something on a whim, you can't find what you need. This was not a part of my me doing this was not a part of my original plan. So let's see if I can find some information for y'all. No, it doesn't show the funds. I thought it did show you the funds that you can pick from, but it's not. So I'm just gonna stop sharing. But at the very minimum, you know where to go what you're looking for it. And what's the minimum to start? On Fidelity, there's no minimum. Vanguard, it may be a 3,000, like I said before. I'm not sure about Vanguard, but we're going to talk about Fidelity. I'm only going to bring up the two that I actually have my Roth IRA in. Now I have other stuff. I have investment with other institutions, but for Roth IRA, I just have those two. So you can start with anything. And since you're over 50, mom, you can put 7,000 in there today, according to Rand. So if it's wrong, y'all yell at Rand. Don't yell at me. Thank you, Fran. This is my friendager. She be on every live sharing all my stuff. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who's watching. I don't have anything else. I tried to show y'all how to open up the open up the Roth IRA. I was trying to show y'all funds, but it's not showing right now. So if you have any more questions about random travel, if you're watching the replay, leave Tasha.com. You can see if you want to work with me one-on-one. We can do a discovery call and see if I'm right for you to do coaching. And my bad. You're welcome, everybody. And until next time, not next time. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. All right, see y'all. Bye.